welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the show. And dang it, I'm frustrated that Bitcoin has a not a following, but it's gotten the stench. It's got the stench of the MAGAs and the crazy people out there because they're embracing Bitcoin, right? But I want to make sure that people trying to learn about Bitcoin understand that Bitcoin is not a Trump thing. Bitcoin is not a Republican thing. It's not a MAGA thing. Okay, Bitcoin is for everybody. Bitcoin is a solution to most of the things that we're complaining about these days. Okay, if you don't like what the government is doing, if that's against your morals, your views, your ethics, Bitcoin is for you. Bitcoin is the way you resist that stuff. Okay, because when you save in dollars, and you keep your savings in dollars, the government is able to print more money and debase your savings, stealing some of your purchasing power and using that purchasing power that they stole from you for things that you never voted for, to do things that you're against without your consent, because they already have the control of the currency. When they have control of the currency, they can inflate the currency, and when they inflate the currency, they steal your purchasing power. They steal your ability to do things, right? So when you take your money, your savings out of the dollar and move it into Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is a capped supply. It's limited to 21 million coins, okay? That means that the government can't come in and create more Bitcoins and devalue the value of your Bitcoin, the value of your savings, okay? So if you want to defund what the government is doing, if you're against whatever the government is doing, your best choice is to just start saving in Bitcoin. It's that easy. Okay, save in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is when I say stack against the machine, that's exactly what I mean. When you're saving in Bitcoin, you're stacking against the machine. You no longer need to rage against the machine. You don't even need to go protest on the streets, right? You just hit them where it hurts the most. And that's their ability to steal your savings by inflation. And how do you do that? By taking the value of your savings and moving them into Bitcoin. Okay, I know it sounds scary. Don't take my word for it, but take this as a nugget, as a hint, as a prompt, as motivation for you to go and learn about Bitcoin yourself and understand how the money system works, how the money system keeps you poor, how it's set up to keep you working your whole entire life and not be able to afford anything by the time your time on this earth is gone. Okay? You work your whole life for a goal that's unattainable in the current system. You cannot work your way to wealth in this country, in any country at this point. The money systems are too rigged for you to ever get ahead unless you flip the script on them. And the only way you can flip the script on them is to get into asset classes that appreciate faster than the dollar expands. And the only one that's readily and easily available to you, and you can start today with as little as $1 freaking dollar, is Bitcoin. Okay? You're not going to get into real estate for $1. Okay? You're not going to get into stocks for $1. You're not going to get into any other asset class that might have a chance of beating inflation, and most of those don't even beat inflation. Okay? You're going to get into Bitcoin for as little as $1. You can have an asset or a fraction of an asset that performs and that beats inflation every day of every year, right? To the rate of with a rate of growth average of about 55% a year, right? So that definitely beats inflation. And like I said, you don't have to save up thousands of dollars to get started. You can save in Bitcoin, which is the magic, right? It's accessible to anybody, regardless of your age, sex, religion, sexual preference, whether you're handicapped or not, whether you're of a certain age or not. As long as you have a phone with internet connection, you can start an account on the Bitcoin network. You don't need to have There's no other requirements, right? And the rules that exist on the Bitcoin network are open. Everybody knows the rules of Bitcoin. 21 million cap supply, new block every 10 minutes. Okay, read up on Bitcoin so you understand how it works. But once you understand how it works, those are the rules of Bitcoin. That is the monetary policy of Bitcoin. And if you understand the monetary policy of Bitcoin, they're not gonna go and change it on you because it's locked in. Okay, it's monetary policy that's on a public ledger, is publicly available, open source, and it's monetary policy that's converted into machine language, like programming, right? It's a program on a network that runs on machines. And these computers, these machines that run the Bitcoin network, they cannot be compromised. They cannot be swindled. They cannot be influenced into giving people with more Bitcoin more influence. No, the Bitcoin network doesn't care. The Bitcoin network executes the Bitcoin code regardless of who's the one using it. What does that mean? It means you have the same rules across the whole monetary network for everybody that participates in it. It's the same rules. It's rules without rulers, right? Contrast that with the dollar. He who has the most dollars and can buy politicians and influence laws gets to have laws that are more favorable to them keeping their money and getting tax cuts for the wealthy and getting what are they called, like environmental protections off of their companies so they continue to profit while they pollute and destroy the environment, right? That is capitalism, right? Who has more money makes the rules, and you don't have that much money. You can't make the rules. Okay, so you end up paying for Elon's tax cuts and all the billionaires' tax cuts and what are they called, subsidies that they get for quote unquote creating jobs, right? You have if you want to fight all that stuff, it's real easy. All you got to do individually and your friends and your family, tell them what Bitcoin is. Learn what Bitcoin is. Share what Bitcoin is, and then you'll be able to understand how saving in Bitcoin, something as simple as just having a savings account in Bitcoin, will influence the politics more than you think. You know, like you're defunding the craziness that's going on. Okay. Anyway, let's get the show started. What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Stack Bitcoin show. I'm really there's just like there's so much stuff happening in the world right now. It's just crazy. So I felt like I needed to talk about it for a second at the beginning of the show. And I'm just frustrated that people have associated Bitcoin with the right, with the Nazis, and you don't have to be a Nazi. You don't have to be you don't have to compromise your morals to be in Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't care about that stuff. Bitcoin is a tool. It's a money system. It's a network. Okay. It's like fire. It's like gravity. It's like the wheel, right? Just because some Nazis use wheels doesn't mean that we're gonna boycott wheels. We still need wheels. Wheels are not a Nazi thing. Wheels are a wheel, right? Just because the bad guys, the fascists, use fire doesn't mean we're not gonna use fire, right? Just because the Nazis use gunpowder doesn't mean that we're not gonna use gunpowder, right? Bitcoin is a technology, okay, and it's your responsibility to learn about it and spread the word that it's not a right or left thing with Bitcoin. It's just a tool, and it is the way to defund the government, to separate the money from the state so that they can stop stealing from you. Anyway, let's get the show going. What up, Carlos Arabio in the house? Chee! What up, Carlos? Also, Derry Duke, what up? We're still stacking. Backed by maths. Exactly, backed by the mathematicians, by the mathematics. It's hard to get even to 0.1 Bitcoin. Sorry, to 0.1 Bitcoin. I know, it is hard. We also have Hard Hodl in the house. Bitcoin is Sudoku puzzle that never ends, and it verifies every 10 minutes, available to everyone. What up, Statwise Janks in the house? What up? Round of applause from the audience for Statwise, Hard Hodl, Derry, and Carlos Aramillo. What up, Carlos? Like Max Kaiser said, if it wasn't for BTC, I would have to care about. Oh, hey, dude, that is a great. I hadn't heard that quote, Carlos, but it's perfect. Oh shoot, sorry about the eardrums there, guys. Carlos, that's a perfect quote. If it wasn't for Bitcoin, I would have to care about politics. Exactly. All right. That said, don't accredit any of the positivity of Bitcoin to any politician. Bitcoin was already winning without Trump. Okay, just because you see a parade coming down the street, and this a-hole jumps in front of the parade and pretends like he's the one leading the parade, that parade was already going, guys. Bitcoin was already going to win. Bitcoin was already winning. Bitcoin already checkmated everybody. Okay. Is that why Max Kaiser is my spirit animal? Yes. That's hilarious. I love it. Cool. All right. That said, if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're new to the show or new to Bitcoin especially, feel free to ask questions. This is a beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. So your questions are welcome. Okay. I'll have the patience to answer the questions, and we can take it from the beginning. We can take it from the top. Or if you have a specific question about where to buy it, how to store it, where to hold it, seed phrase, multi-seed phrase, UTXOs, what else? Yeah, just a bunch of any Bitcoin question you have, put it in the chat. Or if you're watching the replay, put it in the comments. I'll answer it the following day. All right, let's get into the first topic of the day. The SAT strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $83,057.33. You can buy 1,203 Satoshis for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So when you see the price of $83,000, don't be intimidated by that. You don't have to have $83,000 to get started in Bitcoin. All you need is something as little as like $1. Okay, for $1, you'll have 1,204 fractions of a Bitcoin. And that $1, those 1,200 Satoshis will already have the same benefits, the same properties as a whole Bitcoin. That dollar's worth of value that you just put into Bitcoin will be shielded from inflation, and it will start to appreciate in purchasing power against the dollar the longer you hold it. So, don't save up to buy your Bitcoin, you save in Bitcoin. Today, if you're walking down the street, minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day that penny could buy you about 12 Satoshis, 12 fractions of a Bitcoin. All right. That is the SAT strength. Oh, shoot. But yeah, I'm a little annoyed, guys. And I got some stuff to share with you guys today. I got my first profits from one of my little side hustles that I have going. I'm not at liberty to discuss exactly what it is, but rest assured that it's 100% legal. 100% legal. But one of my side hustles is starting to pay off, and I bought some of that tasty Satoshis before the show. I bought about $40 worth of Bitcoin, and I added it to my tracking sheet. I won't be able to say exactly what it's from. Whatever side hustle I do, I'm gonna put the extra benefits in that sheet so we can track it on our stack, make it part of the show, help us get to 1 Bitcoin for the show. But yeah, slow and steady. That's one of my side hustles. I'm also gonna look into the idea of another side hustle for the summer. For the summer, I'm gonna try to do what's called frozen bananas on a stick. I know, it sounds crazy, but I live near the ocean, beach area, so I'm gonna get a little. I'll probably rent one of those little ice cream carts. I'm gonna sell bananas. I'm gonna sell bananas. Okay, and I know it sounds bananas, but I'm gonna sell some frozen bananas. Now, of course, I'll accept Bitcoin as payment, but I'll take the cash as well. And I'm gonna see how much I can help myself get to 1 Bitcoin by slanging frozen bananas on a stick. See? Yeah, make sure they're ripe. No, exactly. Yep. I bought a bunch of bananas last night. I went with my kids to the store. We bought a bunch of bananas. I have some that are already ripe, so I'm gonna take a couple of those that are like what I would consider perfect eating ripeness, and then I'm gonna take a couple and leave them a little extra so they get a little extra ripe, and then I'm gonna leave another two that to make them get extra ripe, and then we'll do a taste test. Which one tastes better? At what stage of ripeness should we freeze them for optimum taste? And then we're also looking into getting like some kind of chocolate mix so you can like melt. Or I've even seen one where it's like already ready to dip. Dip it in there and it creates like a little crust on the banana. And we're doing like toppings too, like sprinkles or peanuts or what else? Like Rice Krispies. No, not Rice Krispies. Fruity Pebbles or like chocolate pebbles, cocoa pebbles. And yeah, so that's gonna be our summer project with the boys. But again, I share this stuff with you guys not as a brag, but so you can see that I'm out here trying to hustle for that Satoshi. You know, I'm out there trying to hustle for the Bitcoin, and it's gonna be fun anyway to do that project with the boys, with my kids, and it'll teach them some stuff about like us having a little business, going out and making the sale, accounting for your costs and your profits, and stacking, having the banana Bitcoin reserve. Strategic banana Bitcoin reserve is in progress. All right, let's get into why we stack. Why we stack. Short and sweet today. We talked about this already, but if you're discontent, if you're unhappy with the current political situation, it's real easy. All you gotta do is save in Bitcoin and defund the government. Okay? When you save in your government money, your fiat money, your dollars, your pesos, your yen, whatever, you're letting the government steal your prosperity. You're letting the government steal the purchasing power of your savings slowly over time via a process called inflation. When the money supply expands, the individual value of each unit of that money supply loses purchasing power compared to the whole of the value it represents. So if you're holding, if in the whole world there only exists $100 and you're holding $10, then you have 10% of the money. You put your $10 in your savings account, and then the money supply grows to $200. You still have $10 in your account, but your $10 now only represents 5% of the money supply. You have lost you've lost 50% of your purchasing power when they doubled the money, and you didn't even see it coming because you don't know how much money they're printing. You can't tell how much money is in existence because they're printing it relentlessly, right? This is a good example of how fast the money is going to be required to be printed. This is our national debt, and it keeps going up. $36.5 trillion in debt. That means that at a minimum, $36.5 trillion must come into existence. And as that money supply continues to expand, again, the value of your savings continues to decrease. So you take your savings, you move them out of that system that's inflationary and it's stealing from you, and you put them into a system that is not inflationary, that is a fixed supply, Bitcoin, fixed at 21 million. And that is how you fight the system. That is how you stack against the machine. And yeah, to make things short and sweet, the under 1 minute pitch of why we save in Bitcoin, here it goes. We save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours. That's it. That's why we stack. So now you know. That should be enough to get you started on the path to start looking into what Bitcoin is. But before you can understand what Bitcoin is, you must understand the problem. Bitcoin is a solution But you cannot understand Bitcoin. You cannot understand the solution until you understand the problem. And the problem is the consistent money printing and the debasement of the dollar. Okay? So future readings recommendations would be go listen to the audiobook, The Bitcoin Standard. It's about 8 hours long, but if you watch it at 1.25 speed, you can probably get it done in about 6 hours. It's worth it. If you have a routine where you work out, where you jog, where you walk, where you mow your lawn, where you're stuck anyway, instead of listening to the same music you've been listening to for the past 20 years, I'm just kidding. Instead of listening to the same old music, go listen to the Bitcoin Standard. Take a week to listen to the Bitcoin Standard. Come back here with any questions. I can try to help you with any questions you might have, but you owe it to yourself. Okay? Instead of binge watching some show on Netflix tonight, listen to the Bitcoin Standard, or put 30 minutes into the Bitcoin Standard. Do 30 minutes a day. Do an hour a day. It's well worth it. It's well worth it. Okay. All right. That is it. That's why we stack. What do we do next? Let's jump into the stack recap. Because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it. And these are the results we've had so far. In 2025, we are down about 11.61% on our stack. We've saved $1,900 into Bitcoin and accumulated 2 million Satoshis, or 0.2 Bitcoin. The value of that 0.2 Bitcoin today is about $679 for a loss of about 11%. This loss is not a realized loss. This is just a loss if we were to sell our Bitcoin today. But we're not going to do that. We're going to hold on to our Bitcoin forever because it's the scarcest thing you can own. All right. Today's price is, like we said earlier, is $83,000. Our average buy price for 2025 is $96,000 Bitcoin. Since today the Bitcoin price is above the lowest purchase we've made all year of $79,000, and below our average buy price, today we're going to do a $40 stack for the daily stack of today. Again, for the daily stack that we're going to buy today. Allow myself to introduce myself. So yeah, $40 purchase today. Okay, let's keep going. In 2024, we've been saving. We saved about $7,345 through our DCA process of the show, and that got us up to about $10,000 worth of value today for a gain of about 38%. And for the lifespan of the show, we have about 0.34416,015 Bitcoin. And I've added an additional slot here. I've added the side hustle slot that I referred to earlier. My side hustle was able to net me $40 today. So I took those $40 and I immediately bought Bitcoin at, wait, that's not right. Hold on. The price isn't right there. Give me a second. Let's update that real quick. If you guys can't tell, I'm fighting off a cold. It won't go away, but I'm powering through it. The price was, yeah, here we go. Let me change this. 83,118.30 this morning, or right before the show. So we're at a little slight loss there because of the fees, but we're still good. That is the new sheet accounting for the side hustle that we just started. All right, and that's it. That's all the different things that we're accounting for. We have the reclaimed Bitcoin. That's the stuff that we sell here that I have in my garage that I don't need, and I just sell it. We have the donations that have come through. We have our dono slide here. Bam. We've received about $8.03 in donations, and that has grown about 10% to $8.91. Let's go. And let's see. Side hustle stuff. Yep. And then, oh, yeah. Oh, here it is. Recycled. Reclaimed Bitcoin. The stuff we've sold. I've sold about $883 worth of stuff and immediately bought Bitcoin at the time of sale. And that is up to about $1,127 worth of value, 0.013 Bitcoin. So pretty good. All right. So that is the stack recap. Let's do the... Is that it? Yeah. It's pretty good. Let's do the purchase for today. Let's do the purchase for today. I swear the numbers are cut off here. Yeah. There we go. Okay, got it. All right. Now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, $40 worth right now. There's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some Bitcoin. All right, so there it is. Busting out the busting out the Strike app, keying in $40 for today's purchase, cutting the music, and hitting the drum roll. Drum roll, please, from the live band. Hit confirm. Slow and steady. And just like that, we have stacked an additional... an additional 47,618 Satoshis to the stack. Bananas for BTC, that's right. 2025, come down here. 3/11/25. We bought at the price of $83,000. The price we deserve today is $83,203.83 Bitcoin. About $40 worth. 0.00047618. There it is. Add it to the stack. We're at $1,940 for the year. We're going to add it to the full stack. There we go. There it is. And the new total for the show is 0.34463633 Bitcoin. Choo! And that's it. Just like that. Short and sweet and to the point. If you want to save in a way that will work for you instead of against you, save in Bitcoin. Simple as that. I remember when the show hit 0.25. Yeah, it's wild, right? When the show hit 0.25, I was like, that was huge. That was huge. Now we're about to hit 0.35. 0.35. That's cool. I think 0.25 is pretty significant. You know, a quarter of a Bitcoin is pretty significant. I mean, like based on the price of today, $28,000 is not chump change for sure, right? Most people in the U.S. don't even have $1,000 or $2,000 in savings for emergencies, right? Sad. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's hard to accumulate a savings account, right? But if we were living paycheck to paycheck, even if you are living paycheck to paycheck, and you can get by with saving at $5 here and there, $5, $25 a week, you know, your stack can still grow too. Even if it is a small stack, double of your small stack is still better than not saving at all, or saving in dollars and having your stack worth half of what it should be worth in purchasing power, right? Because just as this spreadsheet shows that it would cost us 63% more dollars today to buy the same amount of Bitcoin, it means that if you were saving in dollars, then your dollars are able to purchase, was it 63 or is it opposite? 50, 40, 47% less things, right? Like your money's losing purchasing power, whether you have it in Bitcoin or not. If you don't have it in Bitcoin, you're losing purchasing power. So you're not only missing out on the gains you could be having because you're in Bitcoin, on the expansion of your purchasing power, but you're actually losing purchasing power. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm hoping that with all of these examples and all these different trackers that we use here on the show, it motivates you to look into it and get started. Start asking questions. Get off of zero Bitcoin. Get started. Just get started. Once you get started and you can see almost in real time the value of your savings grow and you become wealthier and wealthier just by holding it, and at that point my job is done. At that point you don't need me to tell you how it works. You can see it working, right? That's why I used to really enjoy giving away the 1,000 Satoshis before they killed what was that app called? Wallet of Satoshi. That was like the best orange pilling device we ever had. One of them. Because I could say, hey, you know about Bitcoin? I'd be like, no, I don't know about Bitcoin. Okay, let me give you 30 cents worth of Bitcoin. Let me give you 20 cents worth of Bitcoin. Right? 1,000 Satoshis. Like, cool. And then I would just wait. And then like a couple months later, be like, hey dude, the Satoshis you gave me, it was like 30 cents. Why does it say it's 40 cents now? I'm like, that's just the beauty of holding Bitcoin. And it's already done. Once you see it actually working, there's nothing for me to do. You're gonna do it on your own. You realize what you've been missing out on, and it's done. Yeah, Wallet of Satoshi was so good. If anything, with Trump's shenanigans, hopefully one good thing that comes out of that would be if companies like that can start doing business again in the U.S. It would be cool, because then we'd have Wallet of Satoshi back, and we could probably do some of the Bitcoin lending, some of the Bitcoin lending sites where you can borrow against your Bitcoin. I think right now it's like forbidden in the US. But anyway, cool stuff. I'm glad you guys had a chance. I'm glad you guys took the time to hang out with me for today, and bear with me as I make my way through these through the journey of getting to one Bitcoin and spreading the gospel, spreading the Bitcoin gospel, spreading the news, the orange news. Spreading the orange news. I'm gonna get a little name tag right here. Short sleeve shirt with a tie, with the orange tie, and go to people's houses and knock on the door. Have you heard the orange news? Oh, let's go! Oh, that's awesome. CME gap has been closed, ladies and gentlemen. The CME gap from November has been closed. Theoretically, that means that it's time to pump, right? With the VPN, you can still use it, says Carlos. Let's go. Carlos. Awesome. All right, boys. The music has come on, and I'm excited. You know, we're growing slow and steady, making our way to one Bitcoin, making our way to 500 subscribers. so we can add one more monetization source to the channel and get us closer and closer. 1 Satoshi, 10 Satoshis, 1,000 Satoshis at a time, closer to 1 million Satoshis, which is 1 Bitcoin. I'm patient. I'm playing this it's a long game for me. Okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys.